And welcome in to In-Game Chat for Saturday, March 18th. Yeah, 2023. Season 17, Episode 9. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
And welcome to the show. If you would like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at In-Game Chat. You can find us on Facebook as well. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv, type in In-Game Chat in the search bar. You'll find us. Go to our website, scroll to the bottom. You can find a quick link there if you'd like to as well. You can watch us, join us in the chat room. You can also get on Discord. Again, a link at our website to get there. And I think that link probably still works. Get you into our Discord so you can jump into the chat room and talk with us live on air if you'd like to do that. Plenty of ways to interact with the show, and we welcome them all. All right. Let me do this little clapboard here real quick. There we go. Done with that. That'll help later on. I did note, by the way, I did notice that the hum thing.
Yeah.
Much more subdued when I was editing the audio. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it sounds like live right now for people watching on Twitch, but I know that whenever I went to go edit the audio, it was very low. Extremely low, so much lower than it normally normally is.
Well, whatever we did, it worked.
I would agree with you. Hey, let's see. I'll tell you what, I'll do it during the break. I'll raise the volume a little bit of the stream volume that's going out. I think it might be okay, but yeah. Oh wow, we already have a call. Well, let's just go ahead and take it. Hi, who's this? You're on in-game chat.
It's me, Chris.
What? Ooh, hang on. Got a little weird thing with the phone here. What's up, man?
Not much. Still got an echo.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, something.
Hang on. I want to call back on my cell phone and see if that's better.
Okay, just give us a call back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That was weird.
It's always speakerphone interference. A lot of the time it does that.
See, they're telling me the hum is really loud. It's pretty noticeable right now. Weird.
Goodness, because I hear nothing.
I know.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm plugged into a headphone jack, so I don't know why it's doing that, but there really shouldn't be one. But yeah. Anyway, there's Chris calling back. Hopefully the phone's better for him. Hey, well, maybe. Hey, Chris.
This is Chris.
Hey, yeah, still sounds pretty bad. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I think it's on your end.
It probably is, more than likely. Try it again.
Well, I'm on my cell phone now.
Okay, that's much better. Whatever we've got right now, that's good. I don't know if my volume over here is too loud, or I don't know what the situation is, but sounds good. So what's up, man?
Been watching gameplay footage of the Diablo 4 beta that people played, and I've already got it pre-ordered, and I'm thinking about wanting to go through the process of proving that I've got the pre-order just to download it on PlayStation and check it out.
So it's on console as well?
Yeah, it's on console and PC.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought the beta was just on PC, but yeah, it makes sense to put it on console too. Yeah, so you don't want to go through the steps to do it? You don't want to...
Well, I mean, this weekend's a closed beta, and then next weekend it's open for everybody on console and PC for the whole weekend from, I think, the 22nd through the 24th.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And what the cool thing is, I've read, everybody can play all together, no matter what console or what. If you're on PC or console, it doesn't matter. Everybody can play together.
Okay, nice to know. You can play a cross-platform play. That's good. Mm-hmm. That's good to know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know if I'm up for that or not. I mean, I tried Diablo 3, played it a little bit, especially because it was, us, the group of us that were playing together. Mm-hmm. My group has expanded much larger since then. That's, God, I don't know how many years ago that was. But yeah, I'm curious. Okay. I'm curious about, I don't know what, I've moved the mic and it made a noise. I'm curious about just how it plays and seeing if it's any better. Well, I mean, I know it's better than Diablo 3, but it's likely getting all of the stuff that Diablo 3 got baked into later on in updates and moving forward from there. And I never experienced Diablo 3 after the updates. I only experienced basic Diablo 3 before they fixed a lot of things with it. Not that those things that were broken or those things that they fixed were ever giving me issues. I just never played to the point that I got to experience any of the updates or the fixes or anything else that came afterwards. Mm-hmm. I was out of it by then. So I don't know. I might jump into that. It's probably not. Maybe it's going to be on Game Pass. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if the buyout goes through, then sure, it will be.
Yeah, regardless if it is or not. But yeah, next weekend you can jump in it for free and then check it out. But when I've read that you can actually start downloading the actual files and stuff on the 22nd, a few days beforehand.
Huh, okay. Well, hopefully that works out. We'll see. And are you going to do the open, or you're not going to do the closed?
I want to do the open regardless, and then wait till it comes out. But yeah, it's very intriguing, and I've enjoyed the gameplay I've seen so far of somebody that's played all the other ones and is playing a sorcerer like I like to play sorceresses as well. So it looks very good, and the graphics look pretty good too. And he fought a bear in the very beginning, and he was dealing fire damage, and the bear caught on fire, and it burned him down to the bone and showed the skin burning away, and then down to the bone, to the level of his bones, disintegrating. So it looks pretty cool.
Well, I will, like I said, in the open beta, maybe I'll check it out. And I don't know, I might dip my toe into it. I'm saying that, but I'm probably not. You know how it is. I'm gonna stick with Destiny or whatever, and I'll get around to I don't know. If I got a lot of people doing it, we got a couple of people in our clan that were interested in it, and we're messing around with the closed beta, trying to get into it. Apparently, there's some kind of memory leak going on with it right now that they're trying to fix. But so you're getting a lot of crashes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, so at least they have an option out there. People that want to jump in next weekend can, and they don't have to have any commitment to it if they do or not.
Yep, that's always good. I mean, obviously, you played if you played a previous Diablo, you kind of know what you're getting into. I don't necessarily think there's. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really followed it enough to know. I don't know enough about Diablo to know, like, hey, boy, I hope they fix this in the next game. Or I hope they do this, and these quality of life things, or anything else that you might have sort of a problem with in previous versions that you hope they fix in the sequel, whatever that may be, or something that can be improved. I don't know enough about the game to really give you any kind of a list of things that, boy, I hope they did this. Which means when I get into when I try out Diablo 4, nothing's really going to blow me away by it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's going to be like, oh, this is much better than what they had before, because first off, I don't remember, and secondly, I didn't put enough time to really know what could be better.
Yeah, I mean, if you never played them before, or as long as you like that type of gameplay and you like role playing games, not having any knowledge of the previous ones is no concern really. Just if you like it, and from what I've read and all, it's supposed to be really dark and gritty, like the first and second one were.
Yeah, that's what somebody in our clan chat was talking about. Was that they were returning to the dark and gritty aspect of the game. So yeah, we'll see. So I hope you enjoy it when the open beta comes. I mean, we'll be here next week, so feel free to.
I'm gonna definitely enjoy it, because I've been considering about going through the process of getting through the closed beta, since I've got it already reserved at GameStop. To prove that I've got the reservation, and I'll just to jump in and start playing it. So it's really got me very interested, since I've loved the series from the very beginning, from the first game.
Yeah, do you know if the closed will the closed beta carry over into the open beta? In other words, whatever you do in the closed, does that carry over into the open beta?
Yes, from what I've understood, that it does, but it doesn't carry over after the betas are done and then the main game launches. So that your progress won't carry over.
Right. Okay. I was curious about that. It would have been nice. Would have been a nice incentive, like, hey, you pre-ordered, your character will stay, and then you can go from there in the main game.
I think you can get some different rewards and stuff, like titles and a few things from playing the beta that carries over to the main one, but your actual levels and skills and, that kind of stuff won't carry over. You have to start fresh, but you do gain a few things that you can carry over that they're, like skins or titles or such.
Well, you'll just have to call us and let us know next week.
All right. Well, y'all have a good one, and maybe y'all can figure out what's going on with the phones.
Well, it sounds great now, so I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that level and just hope for the best the rest of the show. So thanks for calling, Chris.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of feedback on my end, but
I don't hear any of it. Yeah.
Clear. Well, that's on my end then. Regardless, y'all have a good one. See y'all later then.
All right, dude.
Okay, take care now.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, level cap is 25 is what High Tech D3 says. So that's how far you can get. Lethal Migrant says the beta cap is 20, and if you get there, you get some sort of dog sidekick or skin or something like that. Yeah, that's fine. I don't hold enough weight in that game to want stuff like that, or to think that I'm going to play it in any sort of long-term thing to care about it. So I don't know. Diablo 3 did not put an impression on me. It was fun with friends, but it did not leave a lasting impression, especially early on. And I know there were fixes. There were fixes in the economy. There was fixes in progression. There was fixes in a lot of things that they went back and did for Diablo 3 that I never got to experience. I watched it download the update quite a few times. I think I jumped back in at one point just to like, hey, this thing keeps updating. Let's see what it looks like. And I got in there. I didn't play anything. It took me to wherever the main hub was, where you can go to the different sections, and it's like, it looks the same to me. I don't really see it, and I don't know that I had anything as far as money to spend in the game, as far as on materials or whatever that you do. So,
right.
I don't know. It didn't really work for me. So,
but you gave it a legitimate shot. That's all they can ask of you.
I mean, I did. Yeah. We played it for a pretty good. We put in a pretty good bit of time with it when we were playing. Were you in with this on that?
No, I wasn't in there with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. We'll see. The leveling in that game really didn't feel. I say that. I'm sure later levels it does. So the High Tech D3 says, do you think the D4 price will drop when it launches? I don't think so. Not when it launches. It may drop later on, obviously, but I don't even know what the price of the game is. Probably regular price, right? $60, probably. So I don't expect it to drop. You may see some sales that have taken like 10% off or something like that, but I don't see it dropping. Oh, it's $70. $70. Yeah. So if you're on PC, you might see some kind of a deal here or there. Maybe And I only say that because, it's Activision Blizzard and maybe Microsoft now. I don't know. And if Microsoft does take over with it then, I don't know what they'll set the price at. I don't know if they'll change the price once Microsoft buys it. I don't know how fast Microsoft's going to get to work once they own Activision and Blizzard. Once they own it. Mm-hmm. If the approval goes through for them to make the purchase, then you have to wait for them to actually buy the thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how fast that's going to be. Almost feels like they're ready to go instantly. As soon as they get the okay, it's ours, And I don't know. And even then, how long does it take them to do what they have to do with all the titles, How long does it take them to say, okay, we're adding these games to Game Pass. We're going to restructure the pricing on these things. I have no idea. I don't know. Does it start immediately? Does it start first of the year? What? Who knows? Just have to kind of wait and see. Mm-hmm. Bama Bryan says he doubts it'll be on Game Pass at least for a while. Game releases in June, I believe. So I think. I could be wrong. I think so. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It says June 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same day as Street Fighter?
I believe so, yeah, because June is Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. I think that's the same date.
June 2nd.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. June 2nd. So, hey man, we got a few minutes here. What have you played?
Played a little bit of Warframe. Helped a friend of mine out get some progression story mode done. There was an update for Streets of Rage 4, so I wanted to check that out, see what it was. Probably little tweaks here and there with the characters and play modes and everything like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto Online. There's been some what I like to call anti-grief tweaks to the gameplay.
Oh, they put in some of that stuff?
Yeah, that I'm not mad at. For the most part, being able to do a lot of things in invite-only sessions where I don't have to deal with other players who seem
so
to be
you can
along,
play online without other people.
Yeah, invite-only session. But there was some.
Really, you can have your own instance where it's just you in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been there, but there were some things you couldn't do. Some things you couldn't do unless you were in a public lobby.
Yeah.
So on my alternate character, I was using motorcycle club things. And one of the things you could do was, I didn't know about this, maybe it was brand new to me, but if you put a custom bike shop in your motorcycle club, you have to buy the building itself, fix it up how you like it, and you can have some additions in there. Gun locker, a custom bike shop, like I said before. But the custom bike shop allows you to modify your own bikes for a discount, but it also allows customers, so to speak, to drop their bikes off and you modify them to their liking, and you can sell them for profit. If you do everything perfectly, you get $60,000 a pop.
Okay,
so you can do that. Then you can also supply the bar in the bike nice. in the bike club. So you can just go out. Cindy, the lady behind the bar, will tell you to steal the truck.
Yeah,
steal the liquor truck. Get the truck, bring it back to the club, and you just keep the bar resupplied. And you'll get a little safe in the room that'll keep adding money as the business is going. So you just have to keep it resupplied.
Yeah.
And it'll max out at 100,000 in-game currency. You just swap it out, make sure you take it when it's full so it can gather up again. Thing is, though, all the things I was doing with resupplying and fixing customers' bikes, things like that, I was doing it in a solo lobby. Didn't have to rely on having people interfering with anything I was doing. Another thing was being able to sell drugs out of there without being interfered with by other players. But the thing is, though, it benefits you to sell things in a populated lobby. You get a bonus for every person in the lobby, and I think the max is 30. The max is 30 people. You can get a 1% increase in your total take, depending on how many people are there. So you want to have 30 people in there. Problem is, of course, you're going to have 30 people in there. You got chances of one of those 30 is going to come and try to blow your stuff up. Mm-hmm. So you got to take that risk, but it's worth it. I mean, it's the difference between selling an order for 150,000 in-game currency and having extra added to it, making it 240,000 per sell. So I'd rather have the 240,000 because it's all about gathering as much resources as you can in this game. So yeah, I was just busy doing that. Then you went to auto sales, basically stealing cars and refixing them and selling them back to the public, that type of thing. So doing that without, like I said, building up without having to be interfered with by other players, it's a good thing. And then selling when it's populated for a profit, for a bonus profit. Yeah, I was doing that. So there seems to be a lot of changes in there since the update, especially with that GTA Plus thing going on. So I'm liking the changes in there so far. I can still do a little bit of I can still earn money and not have to deal with griefers as much.
Yeah.
Because griefing is still it's just trolling, the benefit of trolling, really. Because you can, I think I've said it before, how you can sell something worth $2.5 million. It'll give you $2.5 million in-game currency in the game. And with someone can blow it up and get like 2,000 for it. Like, you could have helped me sell this thing and got a cut of the action, but you wanted to troll and get just 2,000
yeah, exactly.
bucks. Yeah.
They just want to watch the world burn as it is. That's it. They don't care.
Yeah. So that's what I've been pretty much focusing on this week, gaming wise.
Well, good. We got about 2 minutes here, and during the commercial break, I'm gonna switch out the headphone jack here, and hopefully it makes it better. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll get into what I played because while I really didn't play anything different, there's plenty to talk about Destiny.
Yeah.
Given yesterday's news, so and I'm not gonna carry on with it or anything like that. Although it stung, it hurt.
Sudden.
It was it was one of those things where it was like, man, that's God. Anyway, we'll come right back and talk about that. We've got music here from a game called Barotrauma. The name of the track is called Fragile Waves. Barotrauma, Fragile Waves. I don't know what kind of game it is. Might be a semi-survival type game. I don't know I don't think it's got a horror involved. Maybe it does. Barotrauma.
We'll see. BRO trauma?
Yeah.
Survival horror role-playing submarine simulator.
Yeah. What?
I'm trying to think of that game. It was like a little indie game that involved you being in a submarine, I think it was called Iron Lung. And I think that's what makes me think of when I hear this description. Basically, you're stuck in this little submarine taking pictures for this organization, and you got very little room to maneuver in this thing. It's kind of really claustrophobic and really tightly packed in there. And you're taking some disturbing pictures of this underwater area, and try to piece together what happened to this civilization or the people or organisms down there.
It's weird, though. The Barotrauma, at least the screenshot I saw, and you said survival horror, the screenshot I saw seemed like it was not a top-down type view, but like
looks like Fallout. That Fallout game.
The Fallout where you're building your shelter.
Vault builder, yeah, something like that, yeah.
That's what it looks like. And I'm like, how do you get survival horror? I mean, I guess you can, but I don't know. It looked interesting, but anyway. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat coming up right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from Wolong, Fallen Dynasty. Maybe this is, I think, the main menu theme or something like that. Anyway. I think that one's on Game Pass. I haven't played it. What I have been playing is obviously the two games that I play the most, Destiny and Snap. Finally got around to purchasing the Thanos card in Marvel Snap. And that has made my ranking climb a whole lot easier. I am at the highest I've ever been right now in the rankings. So thanks to that card. But, yeah. And by the way, when I say finally purchased that card, it was for sale in the shop for their tokens. You can't buy tokens. You have to just get them through other means. Yeah. And, yeah, so I still haven't spent money on the game. But he cost 6,000 tokens, and I had 5,000. And over the time, I was able to get 100 tokens here, 100 tokens there, 100 tokens here, and I got it up to 6. I have like 100 tokens right now, so I can't buy any cards. The lowest they sell for, or the lowest you can purchase them, I think, is like 1,000 tokens. That's the lowest on the Series 3 cards. Mm-hmm. He's a Series 5. Thanos is a Series 5, and so he was 6,000. And yeah, so anyway, I worth it to spend all those tokens to make this climb and everything else. So that was nice. The other game obviously is Destiny, and nothing really new to really go into there. I've been doing my my dailies. It's extra Gambit rep this week, so I've been knocking that out. There's a glitch within Gambit that is just making it a breeze to do right now.
So how long till it gets nerfed?
I don't know, because apparently this thing's been in for a while. And they haven't, and by a while, I mean since this new season started. Since Lightfall launched. And I haven't seen a lot of people really complaining about it. I think plenty of people are enjoying it, and so they're just running with it. But it's been really nice with the glitch that they got going on in that game. There's a couple of glitches going on, and in fact, I was just made aware of another one in with a weapon that I picked up this morning when I was doing some story mission stuff that I had to do to clear out whatever, and that one apparently just never runs out of ammo that I can tell. Once it hits 0, it refills, and then you have to reload and shoot again. That was broken as of today. I'm curious if it's allowed in the raid or not. I know they disabled a lot of systems, whatever contest mode was going on last week for the first weekend of the raid, but now it's in normal mode now, and so I'm curious if that's still disabled there. I would say, take that with you if you want to, because it gives you unlimited ammo, but it isn't the fastest firing weapon. It probably isn't the hardest hitting weapon. And a lot of these DPS portions of the game where you've got a DPS check to, put as much damage out there as you can, they're on a timer. You've got so long to put in as much damage on the guy before you've got to do the mechanic again to get him back down to where you can shoot him again. Yeah. And so having this weapon just kind of fire very slowly as it does, probably isn't going to be helpful in some of these cases. Yeah. In certain situations, yeah. If you're just out on patrol, or if you're doing some other missions that aren't on kind of a timer, a lost sector, something like that, you're probably fine.
Yeah. How much range does this weapon have?
Lots.
Oh, so it's the scout rifle?
It's a new weapon that you probably haven't messed around with, the glaive.
Oh, the throwing thing?
The thorny thing?
Throwing
Oh,
thing.
the throwing thing. I thought you said the thorny thing. It's no, not the throwing thing. Is it like that thing in Krull or like a naginata? I don't know what that is. It's a stick with a blade on the end of it.
Naginata.
Okay, yeah. It's not the Krull thing. I know what you're talking about. The Krull thing.
A pole arm.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, with a blade on the end of it. Exactly.
Staff.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
But you can shoot. It fires projectiles as well as, so if you use the melee button, it acts as a melee. Okay. If you use the the regular fire button, it shoots a projectile. If you use the alt fire, it gives you a shield.
Okay.
So anyway.
Sound like a scepter.
It could be. You could say it that way as well. Anyway. So that's what it is. It's the first heavy glaive they put in the game that uses heavy ammo and takes up your heavy slot. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. We're running the raid tonight. I think I'm going to stream it. Just because I got fiber at the house now. Why not try and stream it? It should be fine. The upload is amazing. So yeah, I think I'll stream that tonight. Our first normal raid run with the clan. They tried to do it, and in fact, they did it last week on contest mode. Took them over 24 hours, I think, to get it done, but they got it done. So yeah, we're going to run that tonight. Anyway, the main thing is that, yesterday afternoon, about 2:00, I guess, not even 2, probably about 1 o'clock, I had just gotten done posting in a Destiny thread about something, and I went back to the main, went back to the off-topic forums or whatever it was, and boom, right there was Lance Reddick had died.
Yeah.
The actor had passed away, and I was like, what? And I clicked on it, and there was a link to a TMZ thing, and it had only been posted like 2 minutes ago, maybe even less. And just completely shocked. I put it in the clan, and some of the people in the clan Discord were like, well, it's TMZ, so maybe it's not, nobody else, there's nothing, and there wasn't at the time. There was nothing. I did a search for him. There was nothing. The main page when you search for him, it brings up his picture and it brings up a quick little bio. The bio was not in past tense. Everything was still like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It took a little while for that to kind of ripple out, and I kept checking. And when I still didn't find any news, I did notice that the little blurb about his bio had switched to past tense. Instead of he is, or Lance Reddick is, it's Lance Reddick was. And I thought, oh, well, they got it there. And then finally Variety had posted something about it, and he had passed. I bring that up. He's an actor, of course, in the John Wick films. He was in The Wire, great show.
That was my first introduction to him.
Yeah.
The Wire. Yeah.
That would be mine too. For when I watched that, and that was I watched that probably before I even played Destiny. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in The Wire. He was in the John Wick films. He had a couple of other projects that were coming up pretty soon.
I remember him on the
Fringe,
the Blacklist.
Yeah. Also, Horizon both Horizon games he was in. His likeness was in those. I mean, they did the facial scans and that sort of thing, and so he's in those as well. He has been the voice of a character in Destiny since the beginning. D1 going all the way back to 2013, 2012 beta, whatever you want to call it. He's been there. He has been the same character. The character is Commander Zavala, one of the Vanguard, one of the people that is a main character of the story of Destiny. Just fantastic. He was also very, very involved with the community. He would he would tweet about Destiny. He would read memes in his voice, even though it was Zavala's voice. It was his voice. He would just read people would send him things like, hey, say this, not in a cameo style thing, but just on Twitter, like, hey, we memed this. And so, hey, could you read it? And he would gladly do it. He was very, very active as far as just, enjoying the community. In fact, his wife had posted something, about him. And I think this was today at noon. Lance was taken from us far too soon. Thank you all for your overwhelming love, support, and beautiful stories shared on these platforms over the last day. I see your messages, and I can't begin to express how grateful I am to have them. And to the thousands of Destiny players who played in special tribute to Lance, thank you. Lance loved you as much as he loved the game. There was a lot of tributes done where people, because his character is in the game, you can go to his character. He's one of the ones you go to get bounties from, to get, he was part of the Vanguard Strike type stuff, which is one of the play styles that you can play modes that you can do in the game. Also a main character in almost every single part of the story. There is Zavala there. I did a couple of things with strikes, and then boom, his voice comes on. I picked up a patrol while I was doing some things on one of the planets, and his voice comes in through the thing, like, hey, we got to get to killing these things and get out there and collect the nodes, blah, 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 whatever. Still his voice. So anyway, a lot of people went to his character and did some emotes that your character can do just to kind of pay tribute.
Yeah.
Last time I was involved with anything that had something like this, it was kind of indirectly. And that was way, way back during City of Heroes when Christopher Reed passed away.
Yep.
While he had no involvement with the game whatsoever. It was a game about capes. It was a game about your superheroes. Yeah. And so, there were tributes in a lot of the main areas of that game where, people just, did their best to do whatever they could to salute the man, to kind of pay tribute. And so there were tributes like that in instances of the tower where his character is and that sort of thing. And people were using the character in game has an emblem that is specific to Zavala, that character. There's a ship that is specific to Zavala, that character, that you can get way back in season 3 of the game. And so people were using that ship, people were using that emblem just to kind of pay their own tribute to the man. 60 years old, natural causes is what they say that he passed away from, but that's extremely sudden. Yeah. From what I understand, he had posted on Instagram Wednesday, and somebody went back through his Twitter account, and found videos of him playing Destiny. He would often do that. And at one point he was showing off what he was doing in Destiny, and you could see his screen name. So he looked him up. The guy had just been playing the night before. He had been playing Destiny on the PlayStation. Apparently put in a lot of time, actually. They looked up, you can see a lot of stuff there. And I mean, I guess if it's him and not somebody else playing on his character, he had put in like 1,400 hours in the game. D1 and D2, both. From what I understand, he was at 17. His level was at 1765, and when you started Lightfall, you started at 1600. So he'd done pretty good. Somebody said that they checked his battle report and that he had done all the missions in Lightfall with the exception of the last one, of the main campaign of that one, except for the last one. So completely unexpected, completely sudden. Just sad. Just really, really sad. There's not been, outside of Bungie issuing a statement just saying that, he'll be greatly missed and, the stuff that they put out there. There's been no word on any sort of thing of what they plan to do, perhaps as tribute, what they plan to do with that character, that sort of thing. I don't really know. Destiny really only has like another year to go, and I don't know what they had planned for beyond that or what was going to be going on. In fact, they probably don't really have any idea, dialogue-wise, what they were going to do. Yeah. So I don't know that they'll recast. I feel like they won't. I feel like they probably have a way that they could figure out how to make that either work, either with the character, alive, or with the character, whatever they do. And I don't know. They recast, what, Cade 6, the one that was originally Nathan Fillion was the voice, and they recast it with Nolan North, even though they killed him off. So yeah, I don't know if they'll recast or not.
I don't know. I'm thinking they're either gonna use some old dialogue that didn't make it in the game, or they are gonna recast. I mean, Can you see him being killed off?
I don't. Perhaps. And I don't want to say killed off. I think that would be something to where it wouldn't be you get to see the character's death. It would be just something as an afterthought of like, this is what happened in between now and then, like a time jump. And you could go that way. I guess. I don't know. It's a little weird to be talking about that right after he died to me, even though I brought it up. It feels a little weird to go into it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. And we'll just have to wait and see what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm always curious as to how they handle that, especially with and what the God, it really sucks too, because I know I've done there's been articles years and years and years ago about how Bungie was looking to expand Destiny into other media with. Which I think they already did with comics, but with basically television. And I don't know if it was animated. I think it was animated series is what they were looking at. Some kind of an animated series.
I think they'd have to.
I think so as well.
I think they'd have to with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really, I hate it that even if they go in that direction, we still can't get him because that would have been an easy transition to move him from the game into the series type of thing. He was already the voice in season 2 of, God, what is that? League of Legends, Vox something that's on, I think it's on Netflix. He was in that.
Vox Machina?
Yeah. He was in season 2 of that. So yeah. Anyway. That was the news that hit Destiny players, a lot of Destiny players. There were tons of tributes. There were tons of just a lot of emotion with it. So sudden, so sad. So sad that his last post on Instagram was with his dogs, man. And now his dogs don't have a daddy. Just sad. Real sad. So anyway. Oh, it's Critical Role? Oh, it's a cartoon based on the first campaign of Critical Role. Oh, okay. I thought that was League of Legends. I don't know why I thought it was League of Legends, but I did. I guess because League of Legends has... What does League of Legends have? That's Arcane. League of Legends has Arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So... goodness. So anyway, now to move on into news and stuff, I guess. Right? I don't know. There's not much to go into with 4 minutes left until the top of the hour. But I will go right back to the very beginning of the show in the chat room. Bama Brian, the first thing he said was Steam Deck is 10% off. It's been tempting me. I've read enough about it that the better deal just seems to go with the low end model. The base model, because from everything that I've read, they say if you know even the slightest bit about computers, you can easily replace the hard drive in this thing, because it starts the lower model has a 64 gig drive in it, but you can easily replace that with a 1 terabyte SSD or something like that, and you've got essentially, a much faster thing than the mid tier or even the top tier.
Yeah.
Which you can replace that in the mid, you can replace it in the top tier too if you want to do that as well. They just cost significantly more. So I've been eyeing it. It's the sale's going on through the 23rd, so there's time for me to kind of mull it over. I talked myself into it, and then I talked myself back out of it,
Are you thinking that it's going to drop lower at some point? And by the time you get into it?
Yeah, no, I really haven't considered that. That's not really been, but I have mulled over the fact that, well, they put a discount on it now. They'll probably put a discount on it again some other time. Will it be lower than 10%? I don't know. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be, or bigger than 10%. I don't think it'll be lower than that. I don't think they'll say, it's 5% sale now. I think 10% was the minimum they could take off. So the next time they do it, maybe it's more. Will the next time be next year on the anniversary of the Steam Deck? I don't know. Will it be around Black Friday again? I don't know. Will it go for 10% every single time they do one of these sales now? You know? So I don't really look at that as far as the reasoning. Like, in other words, hey, it's going to be cheaper later. Well, of course it is. Because by the time it gets cheaper later, then you could say, well, yeah, but then the next version's probably going to come out and these will drop even further. So, you know, just like with any computer hardware, just pick it up when you want to pick it up. Because it's always going to drop in price. And yeah, if you wait, then
you'll be fine.
Yeah. So my other thought on that is also that because I was going to go back to my gift card money from GameStop to buy Steam cards so that I could put some money towards that sort of thing. And I'm like, these cards are not going to expire with these funds. So, you know, I can still wait if I want to do that. So I don't know. Then I talked myself into it. I talked myself out of it. So I don't know. Thar66 says it's too expensive and too big. That thing is huge. That's in his opinion. Yeah, I've held one. Matt has one. He brought one in. And yeah, it's a beast. Yeah. Size-wise, it's quite big. I don't mind that.
Compared to a Switch.
Look at these things. These are huge.
Compared to a Switch, how much bigger?
Much bigger.
Much?
Yeah. Screen size may be the actual same, but it's a lot wider. And
heck of a lot more components in it than a Switch, of course. But
bulkier, yeah. You get
that has a space for a full size PC hard drive.
No, not a full size hard drive.
Sorry,
no.
What's that thing called? That little mini stick. Which format? Of
the NVMe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got an NVMe into it.
Full size NVMe.
Yeah, which is just PC. Basically a little.
That's what I mean. See, I'm still used to spindle and hard drive.
I know.
Yeah.
When I built my new computer back in 2020, NVMEs were not even, I guess if I'm doing that, if that's the right one, NVMe. Those were brand new to me. My last computer didn't have a motherboard that had anything like that. Apparently they're putting you're putting hard drives directly onto the motherboard now. And it's amazing. They found new ways to include more space. So, yeah. So anyway, kind of mulling that over. We're at the top of the hour here, and we need to go. We'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat. This music is from a game called Scourgebringer. Track is called Greed, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. What'd you say?
Said good hands.
I know, yeah, the phone was sliding off the thing. Welcome back. This is from a game called Other Side. Side being CIDE. Like, yeah, homicide, other side. So that's what that is. The name of the track is called Suffering Other. Is right. So, Anyway, welcome back into the show. Currently, I tried to play a game of Marvel Snap in between commercial breaks here.
Which is thoroughly possible.
It is, except it's going extremely slow for some. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's going real slow for some reason. I don't know why.
Got an update going on in the background?
I have no idea. It goes a lot faster. It is. Look how slow that's moving.
Yeah.
It's just dirt, dirt, dirt. Man, it's going to take forever to finish that one turn. Yeah, as soon as that's done, I'm just going to close it out. In fact, I would snap. But anyway, welcome back to the show. There we go. A question in Discord from Nabokov fan says, would I rather have a PSP, a Switch, or a Steam Deck, and why? Yeah, one, but it's just going to take forever to play the victory animation. So I've had a PSP and I've had a Switch. I've never had a Steam Deck. The only thing really that gives the Steam Deck the advantage on those things, or over those things, is the library.
Yeah.
I already have a massive library of games for that system, for that portable system. It also has the ability to hook up to another TV through the dock and stream from that computer to the Steam Deck. So I can do that as well. And that kind of puts it that gives it quite an advantage over those other systems.
Yeah.
There are other things that are wrong with it, obviously. It's very big. It's very bulky. But it's also, by the way, really good, from what I've read, very good emulator. You can do a lot with the emulation in the game or on the device, which is something I probably would look at as well. Yeah. I mean, you can throw Windows on there if you want to. I mean, I could probably play Destiny on the thing. I can't, as it is using Steam OS, I can't do that just because of the DRM that's involved. Not the DRM, the anti-cheat stuff that's on there. I can't do it, but I could totally do it on if I installed Windows onto the device, and then I could do it. So, but yeah. So I don't know. That would be why. Because of the library. Like I said, I've had a PSP and I've had a Switch. PSP, I was hopeful for that, but that was given everything that came after it. I can look at that as kind of a flawed device. But then again, it's an older device, so yeah, it's going to have its flaws there. But maybe call it maybe a Vita. You know, even that kind of went south for them too. Sony doesn't have a good track record with trying to do handhelds. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's my thought on the Steam Deck thing. So the Steam Deck being 10% off is part of the Steam Spring Sale that is going on right now through the 23rd of March. So get in there while you can. Lots of, especially if you do have a deck, there's a lot of deck approved or deck verified games that are on the cheap currently for you to enjoy. So, what do we have as far as some more news to get into? There's this one here. I wonder if, okay, internet seems to be running pretty fine here. This thing is still trying to do, I don't know.
Still sluggish?
It is still just being slow. That's really weird.
I think you've got to have something going on with that phone. Something else going on in the background somewhere.
Yeah, no idea. No clue. Tell you what, I'm going to do a restart of the phone.
I won't mess up your stats.
Oh, I've already closed it out.
Oh, okay,
so.
Yeah.
I only won because the other opponent retreated. They left the game.
Okay.
Probably because they were tired of waiting for me. I don't know if it was happening on their end or not.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and shut down the phone, and then I'll bring it back up afterwards, just to see if maybe that was the issue. That was really strange. Into the news, and I think the back and forth between Sony and Microsoft over Microsoft's buying of Activision Blizzard is just going to be a constant thing.
Yeah. Anything to stop it from happening. That's what they're going to try.
In a statement to the UK government's Competition and Markets Authority, Sony used Starfield, which of course is Bethesda, which of course is owned by Microsoft. They use Starfield as evidence that Microsoft can't guarantee that Call of Duty will be easily available on PlayStation. In Sony's statement, it noted how Microsoft originally said it would not have the incentive to cease or limit making ZeniMax, which is Bethesda, games available for purchase on rival consoles when attempting to acquire Bethesda's parent company. This has obviously ended up not being so true, as Sony also noted that both Starfield and Elder Scrolls are also going to be Xbox console exclusives. So they're kind of pointing at that, saying, look, they're about to buy another company. Look what they did when they bought this company. They put everything on their systems and made it exclusive to their systems, or some of the higher profiled titles from that company.
Yeah.
This article goes on to say it's not surprising Sony is trying to use Starfield as a way to say Microsoft might not be so trustworthy when it comes to Call of Duty. Only problem is Microsoft literally signed a deal with Nintendo guaranteeing Call of Duty games on their platforms for at least 10 years. They're not sure how well those games will run on a Switch, but they did sign a deal saying, we'll put it on there. So that means they're not keeping the exclusivity,
How broad is that deal? Do you recall?
How broad? What, the Activision?
I mean the word. I'm thinking the word because the way you said that, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to put Call of Duty on Nintendo systems. What type of Call of Duty? We talk about some new type of Call of Duty, not the traditional run and gun first person shooter, or some other type that.
I think it would be no. I think it would be. See, that's the interesting thing. There is rumor we're getting a Switch update. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. And when I say update, I mean more than an OLED screen. There was talks about a expansion pack or a service pack or some kind of pack coming out with a game, and somebody found a listing for it or some quote from somebody saying it would probably come out with the next iteration of Switch. And that got a lot of ears perked up to say, oh, okay, when is that coming about? And they looked at when the DLC has a tentative release window, and it seems to be next year, which people are thinking that's going to coincide with the release of a new Switch. Which is not to say maybe that it can run Call of Duty, but I would imagine an upgrade is going to be an upgrade to where it probably could run some Call of Duty titles. And I think Microsoft wants this enough that even if this deal goes through with them being able to purchase this, they'd find a way to make it work on Nintendo platforms. My thought. I don't know. So, Mikuru X says the same type. I believe it as well. It says that Microsoft has also been trying to form a deal with Sony, but the details of that are not public. We're still waiting to find out if Microsoft's acquisition will actually go through or not, but a recent report claimed that the European Commission is happy for it to go ahead, providing a favorable outlook for Microsoft. I think it actually now probably will happen. Mikuru says that Switch can run Call of Duty, but it's going to be really, really low res. It's gonna take a graphics hit, a pretty significant graphics hit. But I think they could optimize. I think they could optimize for it. I really think they could. So yeah. What is this one I have here? It says that they signed another 10 years. Is this the one with Nintendo? Microsoft signed another 10-year agreement to spread Activision to this time. To a cloud gaming service. Boosteroid is the name of the cloud gaming service. Never heard of that. Today's announcement is, it says Microsoft's agreement with Boosteroid, the largest independent cloud gaming provider in the world with over 4 million global users, the release claims, will bring Xbox PC games to its service. And more quietly, Microsoft notes that Activision Blizzard PC titles to be streamed by Boosteroid customers after Microsoft's acquisition of that company closes, if the deal closes. This means popular franchises such as Call of Duty will surpass more than 150 million additional players and make games built by Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, and Activision playable on multiple cloud gaming services and subscriptions. If the deal closes. It likely will. So, we shall see. Yeah.
Biggest in the world. I've never heard of it. But then again, I've never been on the...
I've never heard of Boosteroid ever.
I've never been on the cloud thing much, so...
Okay, let's see. Mikuru X says, a quote from Jim Ryan said something along the lines of, I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block the merger. That seems to be the case, is that Sony doesn't care. Sony doesn't want this to go through. So they don't care if Microsoft reaches out and says that, hey, we'll give you a 10-year thing, or we'll try and bring Call of Duty to your platforms. Mm-hmm. That seems to have always been the case from the beginning. They don't care if Microsoft gives them the Call of Duty franchise. You know, they don't care if Microsoft suddenly says, look, we'll make Call of Duty multi-platform. We'll put it on PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, blah. We'll put it out there.
Irrelevant.
Sony didn't care.
Yeah,
they just don't want them to buy Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think at some point...
It's control.
Yeah, at some point...
It's control.
Microsoft will pull it away.
Yeah, they can because it's theirs now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be looming over your head the whole time.
They'll find a way.
And look, and Call of Duty is arguably one of the most popular franchises out there, is it not? So, yeah, that's a big title. If it wasn't Call of Duty, would there be this much desperation from Sony's part to keep it from happening?
Well, if there was no Call of Duty, would Microsoft be buying them?
No, probably not.
You know?
It's a hot commodity. And
I mean, there's still WoW, and there's still Overwatch. There's still, I don't know if Hearthstone's a thing.
But it's Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can say all those other titles all you want. It's Call of Duty.
Yep.
I mean, the game comes out every year, and it comes to like makes ridiculous numbers.
Well, there's also what's that other company, King, that does Candy Crush and stuff?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I honestly think this is going to happen.
I mean, any franchise that can get away with selling the game, quote unquote, with a refrigerator with no game involved. I mean, they can get away with anything.
I agree. I think that'll be the case. I think that'll be the case. Oh, yeah. Resident Evil 4 Remake, the reviews released on that. Mm-hmm. And
I've still got to play the demo for that.
It's doing great.
Yeah.
It is doing great. GameSpot gave it a 10 out of 10, saying instead of trying to reinvent the wheel a second time, Capcom has doubled down on the brilliance of the original's design, elaborated on it, and finely tuned the experience. The result is a stunning remake that reminds longtime fans like me of its brilliance, while also introducing an all-new generation to a modern classic and one of the most important games of all time. That's interesting. One of the most important games of all time?
Never got that idea from it, no.
IGN gave
I didn't.
Yeah, IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. Saying whether you're a fan of the original or a newcomer with a hankering for some action-heavy horror of the highest quality, Resident Evil 4 is like a parasite-riddled Spaniard. A total no-brainer. I guess that's in the game. That's who you fight. Or they say Spaniard. Yeah, Spaniard. Its combat is friction-free, but no less stress-inducing thanks to its ferocious cast of creatures. Its story rapidly shuttles through a series of action scenes that are diverse in structure but uniformly unwavering in intensity. And its world is rich in detail and full of fun and often snarling surprises. VG247 gave it a 5 out of 5. I can't stop playing. So much so that my plans for New Game Plus, which is in the game now, are to do the stealthiest run possible using only Leon's knife. I probably won't get that far before needing to repair it, but I look forward to seeing Resident Evil content creators doing what they do best with this evolved version of Resident Evil 4. Madcap runs of the game that this remake has been so consciously shaped to accommodate. VGC gave it a 5 out of 5. Game Informer a 9.5 out of 10. Games Radar 9 out of 10. Destructoid a 75 out of 100. Their words on this say that back in 2005 I liked Resident Evil 4, but I didn't love it. The remake hasn't changed that. Unlike the Resident Evil 2 remake, which was revolutionary, RE4's Glow Up is more of a faithful recreation rather than overhaul. It changes just enough that if you love the original, I can't guarantee that this will leave you unperturbed. Meanwhile, if you didn't like the first iteration, it's not impossible that this will change your mind. The best I can say is that it is an earnest effort at recapturing the magic, and it's worth checking out. It remains, as it always was, maddeningly inconsistent.
I was just about to say, those first two reviews you went over.
That was a lot of praise.
I was getting kind of skeptical about that. Because especially when you said the greatest, where did you say the greatest horror of all time?
What does it say? Like one of the greatest games of all time.
Okay, it didn't even say horror games. You said one of the greatest games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was no. Here's GameSpot. It's close enough. Different word.
Okay.
One of the most important games of all time.
Did he elaborate how?
No, he didn't.
No. Okay.
I mean, I could read the full review, but I'm not going. I'm not going.
Yeah, you
in
could
there.
just link it or whatever and do that. But yeah, but that those first two reviews you gave me was kind of I'm a little skeptical of those.
Yeah. Here's the review.
It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Resident Evil 4, but most important game of all time and that level, I'm like, no, that pump the brakes a little bit on that one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it got a lot of praise.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little too much praise, or maybe that's a little over whatever the word may be, but
overzealous.
The game's good. It's a real good remake.
It's a good remake, yeah.
So do with that what you will. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember when it came out. Got a lot of praise when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It got a lot of praise when it came out.
I think
on the GameCube.
I think one of the things they talked about was the elimination of the tank controls. There was one thing about it. I think one of the complaints, if I'm recalling right, more action oriented was opposed to the first three in the series. I think that was something people talked about in a negative light. But generally, overall, it was a good game.
Good game, yeah. Oh, here's a report from Game Industry Biz. Moving on to another story here. PC and console global gaming dropped in 2022. PC and console games for 2022, $92.3 billion. That's down 2.2% from last year. It's a small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Still down. Console games.
Still billions, though.
Yeah.
So.
Console games was $51.8 billion. That's down 4%.
Still billion.
Digital physical PC games, $38.2 billion. That is up almost 2%, 1.8.
Mm-hmm.
And browser PC games, what are those? Is that just games you play in your web browser?
I'm assuming.
2.3 billion, which is down 16%, almost 17%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal is with browser games. That's unless it's legit games you play in your browser.
What was Alien Hominid?
I don't know.
That was a browser game, wasn't it?
The Blackout fan says that, in context, Resident Evil 4 is one of the most highly regarded games ever.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
If it is, I'm not aware of it. I just thought it was a good game.
Is it within, like, the Resident Evil series of games, or is it within, like, games in general? Or is it both? I won't know. Anyway, going back to these numbers here for this, the highlights to take away the market, decrease revenue. Console games made up the lion's share. Box and download titles were in the second. Meanwhile, browser PC game spending. I don't know what that is. Yeah. So those are your numbers for PC and console gaming. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the final segment of what?
I looked up browser games, and the first example that pops up is Wordle.
Maybe, yeah, I guess so. There might be a subscription to that.
Yeah.
You're right. I do play Wordle. I also play Guess the Game. Has anybody else been playing that?
Let's see, City Guesser, Freeset Web, War Brokers.
Guess the Game is like, so there was a game called Framed where they would give you one frame of a film.
Yeah.
And you'd have to guess what that is, what movie it's from. So Guess the Game is the same thing. They show you a screenshot and you get 6 attempts at guessing. So if you don't know what it is, you skip it, it goes to another one. By the time you get to the 6th one, you have a pretty good idea probably of what it is. Mm-hmm. So, you know, in other words, I don't know, it might be a cloud, a picture of a cloud from a game that you may know. And then as it gets down, by the time you get to the 6th guess, it's like the main character of the game. So you're like, oh, that's Max Payne, whatever, you know, something like that. So I play that. That's on a daily thing. Guess the Game and Wordle. I play both of those. As far as browser games, that's about it, though. I used to play a ton of different kinds of games, and it just got tedious to do all of them. Here comes a musical track from a game called Scars Above. Not stars, but scars. This is called Reconstruction. We're going to be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this.
Sounds like some military action or something like that.
Welcome back in. It is Sons of the Forest.
Okay.
That survival game that Chris was talking about last week.
Survival horror on
I mean, it looks really good the way they've kind of put the concept of Minecraft in a more graphically intense type of game and how it
more
works.
realistic Minecraft with cannibalistic.
Something like that. Exactly. And also apparently has a really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Lethal Migraine gave us a list of the most important games. His list of the most important games, Tetris being number one. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, there's a movie about Tetris coming out on the Apple TV, whatever, the Apple Plus thing.
Yeah.
There was apparently
you saw the promo for it?
Yeah. No, it's I didn't realize that it was that dramatic as far as bringing Tetris over. Apparently there was a review for it up on Deadline, and there was a film critic by the name of Pete Hammond. Mm-hmm. He starts off by saying that he not only had never played Tetris, he never knew it existed before the film. Mm-hmm. Full disclosure, it says, sue me, but not only have I never played the iconic 80s video game Tetris, I had never heard of it before encountering this new film, Tetris. I realize that probably makes me a bit of an oddity to the gamer generation. The article here from Kotaku says, sir, no offense, but that makes you an oddity to, I think, 99% of adults who have access to the World Wide Web or a phone. Hard to believe that somebody has never heard of Tetris before. And I say that only for the fact that there's been, Tetris obviously, it was packed in with the Game Boy when it came out, but Tetris has been around. Every single console generation gets Tetris released on it. There's been Tetris Generations or whatever this new one is that's out there now, Tetris something or another. I can't remember what it's called. I
could see someone not knowing about it if they don't. How old is the reviewer?
That's a good question.
If he's the older generation, he never got into console gaming or played anything like that.
The article does say, to be clear, I'm not here to bully Hammond, and please don't go pestering this dude over this. I'm just shocked, bemused, and confused at how someone can make it this far in life, even using the internet, and somehow never hear a whisper about the most well-known puzzle game ever. The rest of Hammond's review is not only positive, but sincere. I really think this dude has just unbelievably never heard of Tetris before. I don't know the age.
I guess I'm in the minority here, but I don't see that as unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know who or how old he is or whatever. So,
yeah.
Well, it kind of makes me wonder what else he's never heard of as far as gaming might be concerned, like Pac-Man or
maybe a lot.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he's never been
that's not
surrounded by folks who don't game.
Yeah, not giving him any flack for that. It's just it's quite impressive to know that you've never heard of Tetris before.
Yeah,
I know plenty of non-gamers who know what Tetris is, or at least have seen references being made to it. Mm-hmm. So,
but two folks right now, my folks,
they've never heard of Tetris before. Tetris is. Yeah. I imagine there's a certain generation of folks who don't know what Tetris is.
Yeah,
never heard of it. Mm-hmm. But if you're unsure, there's a movie coming out at the end of the month about it. Yeah, so check it out. But it's Tetris Effect. That was the name of it.
Tetris Effect. Yeah. But in this case, the movie, looking at the pro, it's not about the game at all. It's about
Nintendo getting the acquisition of the game or the licensing rights to the game, so they could distribute it here in the States.
Yeah. So if we think about what console wars would be about, the movings and shakings, the dealings going on between Sega and Nintendo.
Lethal Migraine, by the way, says, I would argue the number 2 most important game ever is Cyberpunk because it showed that players will no longer accept broken games. Although I played on PC and it was fine. Number 3 most important was Oregon Trail. Number 4 was Super Mario Brothers. Number 5 most important was the tabletop arcade Pac-Man. Oh God, what is it called? Cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cocktail Pac-Man.
I don't know. Control is soaked in pizza grease.
Yeah, Tetris probably would be up there. If you're going with most important games ever, part of me feels like Pong has to be in there for the
number 1.
Just for the audience reach that it got at the time, for what it was, just Pong was just such a thing.
I say number one because it's a lot of people's first.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Pac-Man I would throw in there. I'm sure there is a generational gap depending on who you ask for the most important games. There's going to be a generational gap.
Yeah. Was Pac-Man the first blockbuster? Would you call it that?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that's probably the biggest on anything like that. We have a call coming in, by the way, which probably wants to talk about some of these greatest games of all time. Maybe, I don't know. Hi, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this? Hey, man, you sound great coming through the phone, by the way. No, probably not. Go ahead.
And so I showed him, and then he had no idea what was going on. So I said, "You've never." So I just see that as a good opportunity to spread the gospel and everything, and introduce somebody else that's never seen something like that, to something they've never seen before that they'd probably love and all. And of course, what was so funny, there's an older gentleman, it's like, he's 77 that works with us, and he overheard us talking about it, and he was making references to the scene with the Black Knight and everything. So I said, yeah, we were all laughing and everything, and I told him, yeah, you can look it up on YouTube and watch the movie, but it's well worthwhile. It's hilarious, and give it a try. So hopefully he may have or not, but I showed him a little bit of a scene or something, from the movie about the horses and the coconuts. But some people out there most likely never have heard of Tetris, like they've never heard of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So I don't see it in a bad way whatsoever.
No, it's not bad. Yeah. It's not bad. There's nothing bad about it.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything bad about it. It just is surprising, I think. It's just surprising that somebody had not heard of that. So that's all.
You see, I just don't I don't see it that way. I mean, some people just aren't exposed to it. I mean, you're not going to catch everybody. Yeah. Just because it's wildly popular or internationally, worldwide popular, doesn't mean that everyone's going to see it.
Right.
Know about it. Some people just going to miss it.
Yeah.
So,
Easily.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for calling back.
All right. Y'all have a good one. See you.
All right. Take care now.
Lethal Migrant says over 500 million copies of Tetris have been sold. I completely, I'm sure I agree. But going through like just those important type games, I feel like Super Mario Brothers would be in there. Pac-Man would be in there. Pong, like we said, would be in there.
Yeah. Most important games, the greatest ones, the ones that, like I said, the blockbusters, your first experience, the ones that solidify or establish a genre. Better than any other title out there.
There's different, obviously there's different criteria you could lay it on. Like the most well-known or the most popular are the things that had cultural shifts or cultural, penetrated through into, outside of just the gaming culture into other aspects of pop culture type thing.
Yeah.
So Pac-Man would be up there, I think, easily.
Yeah, I want to say that was the first video game blockbuster. Would be
huge. Huge.
Pac-Man.
I had a random fact about it. I do random facts every morning on the show Monday through Friday, and one of those was about just the amount of money it made. The amount of money it made, but you have to understand the amount of money it made was in quarters.
Yeah, little bits at a time, folks. Yeah.
It made this much money. Only 25 cents at a time.
Not $50 a pop.
No.
25 cents a pop.
Like when you go to a movie, you're paying a bunch of quarters at one time to see a movie.
Yeah.
But for this game, you were paying you putting in 1 quarter for one play. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty impressive that it made that much money based solely on quarters. Just the amount of quarters that people put into the thing.
Someone pull up the stats. How many pounds of quarters did Pac-Man make over the years?
Again, it's in my random facts somewhere. Yeah. I don't remember what the actual fact was about it, but it was.
I made a lot of money.
Really impressive. Very impressive. Had its own song.
Pac-Man Fever.
Yeah. Had its own song.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. What else? What else we got here? Let's see. PC Congo. Okay, we talked about that. Steam Deck discount.
We talked about that PC and console thing. I wonder if mobile gaming dropped any.
It didn't have mobile gaming on there.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have mobile gaming on there, but I wonder if it dropped any, or maybe just went up.
Could have,
because all these companies are trying to get the mobile gaming thing.
I mean, mobile gaming used to take mobile gaming was like the biggest chunk of gaming. Whenever you split it down into here's PC game sales, here's console game sales, here's mobile game sales, almost more than half.
Yeah,
massive.
But I still say there's some genres and titles that just won't transfer well into the mobile aspect.
Mm.
Yeah. But they keep trying to put it in there.
The Last of Us is one of 12 nominees for Gaming Hall of Fame. The Strong National Museum of Play has announced the 12 finalists that have been chosen to enter the 2023 World Video Game Hall of Fame.
Now, is this the series or the title?
Probably just the title.
Just the title. The original Last of Us.
The 12 finalists for the 2023 World Video Game Hall of Fame are Age of Empires, Angry Birds, Barbie Fashion Designer.
Back up. Barbie Fashion Designer is a Hall of Fame nominee.
Yep.
Because?
I don't know. It doesn't list reasons. Apparently, this is from 1996.
Oh, okay.
It says the 1996 hit Barbie Fashion Designer also managed to snag a spot. I don't remember 96 as being a big year for Barbie Fashion Designer, but then again, I don't remember 96 being a big year for anything.
Mm.
I can't go back that far to tell you what was big in 96.
Wait a minute.
What you can Google that?
I have to look up something.
Okay, that's fine. I'll keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Computer Space, I don't know what that is, FIFA International Soccer, GoldenEye, The Last of Us, as we mentioned, NBA 2K. That's an interesting thing, that NBA 2K. Not NBA 2K10 or something like that. NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Quake.
2000. Quake. Okay, yeah, Quake.
Wii Sports. That was a big deal mainly for the Wii,
motion controller things. Yeah.
Look, Wii bowling was everywhere, man.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. From people breaking their TVs because they were throwing the controllers trying to bowl, to seeing a generation of people play a game of bowling just because it worked the way it worked. And Wizardry is another game that was on there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was looking up a Barbie Fashion Designer. Well, this is a wiki page, but it was
Lethal Migraine says, just like the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, apparently the Video Game Hall of Fame will put in anybody. That's good.
Let's see. Barbie Fashion Designer is a dress-up computer game developed by Digital Domain and published by Mattel Media for Microsoft Windows and Mac OS in '96. The game allows players to design clothing and style outfits. Players can then print off their designs and create clothing for their real-world Barbie dolls. Okay, well, there was a connection there. The game will connect to your actual doll. Barbie Fashion Designer was the first commercially successful video game made for girls. After its success, many other games geared towards girls will be made, leading to the girls' games movement. Okay, so it was made for girls.
Well, I get the reasoning.
First commercially successful.
Yeah, I get the reasoning that they're going for on that one.
Okay.
So, The Last of Us, by the way, season finale broke another viewership record on HBO. They have announced that there will be a season 2. They're going to the next 2 seasons of the show will be the entirety of part 2 of the game. So they're taking the sequel game, they're taking the game sequel, and they're splitting that into 2 seasons for the television series.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I think they could do that.
Okay.
So, by the way, the cliffhanger thing we were talking about, they did not end on a cliffhanger.
Oh.
No. They ended it just like the game ends.
Okay.
With Ellie asking Joel, like, hey, all that stuff you told me back there, is that true? And Joel, yes.
What happened?
Yeah. And he's like, yes, it's true. There are other people like you who are fine, and yeah, that's fine. They're
Yeah.
Complete the lie. He just
the lie.
keeps going with the lie.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Yeah. So they do. Yeah. I think we talked about last time. They're doing it right with this series. It's apparently going well, getting rave reviews, and everybody's watching it.
It was really good. It was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that it did what it did, because hopefully that makes way for other games to kind of push into that genre that
Mm-hmm.
you can tell stories with these video games that can stretch across multiple mediums of ways to do it. And I look forward to see whatever. In fact, Sucker Punch Studios,
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah,
Okay.
talking about how they looked at that and said, "Look, we can do this." So, looking at possibly maybe turning that into something as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, I am interested. I am curious as to how seasons 2 and 3 of Last of Us is going to handle the story of Last of Us 2, because
I know,
I know,
because
that story wasn't, as, to put it lightly, that story wasn't as good or well received as the first game.
Right.
So, what types of tweaks or changes are they going to make?
Especially that big one that you would probably do in the first or second episode of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The big one. That honestly has to happen in order for the rest of the stuff to take place.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really pull. If you change that aspect, you change the rest. That's a chain reaction type thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They didn't change much in the first season, did they? They didn't change too much of the story, did they?
Not really, no.
Yeah, so can't really.
But that's a big story beat that has to happen in order for the rest of. It had to happen in that game in order for the rest of the game to play out the way it was supposed to play.
Yeah.
It's honestly rare for, and I say it's rare. It's unusual for a television series to do what they're going to have to do within like the first few episodes of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's got to carry into another full season after that.
Yeah.
Now there's flashbacks that they can rely on, and they will. But, it's a different story to be told. So, I don't know. I'm trying to be vague for a game that's already been out for whatever, but there's a lot of people who may not have played these games that have only watched the series.
Yeah.
And are kind of curious about it.
Something like that happening would be completely startling.
So I got to kind of keep it vague.
Yeah.
So. You're right. Bama Bryan says, I hate the style of filming less than 10 episodes and years in between. There was maybe 2 infected in the last few episodes. Made it more of a man versus man thing, similar to Walking Dead. I kind of agree with you there. As far as for a game, and obviously it works differently as a game when you have to throw enemies at you at certain, you got to have moments to breathe and then moments of gameplay, moments to breathe, moments of gameplay. And they really don't do that in the series. The clickers and everything else, you really only see infected few episodes here and there. There's that one episode where it's just a horde of them.
But that's one episode.
But that's just the one episode. And and that's about it. You don't really see them crop up again after that.
Cost issues, production value, production issues, something like that?
Maybe it's more of a story about, just like Bama Bryan says, it's more of a story about human survival. The way it turns, the way civilization turns, how that changes civilization, how that changes humanity, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it becomes more of a story of how people cope with other people than it does how people cope with infected. The only way you cope with infected is you kill them.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you cope with other people is different. Doesn't necessarily mean that you kill them, although...
Well, it depends on the people.
It does.
Because the way one person handles something isn't the way the other person
and
handles
they show
it.
that.
So,
and they show that exactly that, both in the game and in the series. Although in the series, I think they focused more on that than they would the other. Which is fine. I think you're going to get more drama that way than you are just with, oh, there's a clicker, let's kill it. You know, stab it, shoot it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So we're coming up here on the end of the show. So
I think about the Walking Dead. I mean, can you remember any series that didn't involve zombies in some way or fashion?
You know, it's interesting. I did get some brief mental memories of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And how I was so into it first couple of seasons, or quite a few seasons, honestly. And then I was like, it doesn't mean anything anymore to me. It really didn't. There were moments in Last of Us where I was like, oh, this feels Walking Dead, but it feels better than Walking Dead. I don't know why. Maybe it's probably bias. I'm not sure. But or maybe it's because I'd had 15 seasons of Walking Dead, and this is just season 1 of Last of Us, so it feels fresh. Although I have to say, the episodes what they did with just 9 episodes, some really, really good stories. That episode 3 or 4, whatever it was, that just beat everything.
Yeah,
that just was amazing.
9 episodes based on that first legendary story. So yeah, so
and that one with Bill and forgetting the other character's name. God, that was so good. That was just fantastic television. We got to run, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. I want you to have a great night and have a great week as well. Don't forget to join us on YouTube and Discord and all the other places that you can get in touch with us as well. I'm going to post this show maybe later tonight. My upload goes fast. It takes like 2 minutes to upload the show now. It's great. So anyway, have a good one. This is music here from a game called Bloodroots. Its track is called A Monument to Excess. We will see you guys next Saturday. Have a good one.